Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I wanted to kind of show you my new fashion. This is a must-have for the well-dressed man if he's going to be social distance. Oh, I meant to have my mask here because I was going to put my mask on and show how even with finery, with patriotic, uh, you know, accoutrement, that the well-dressed man could still wear a mask, but I left it out of reach. But uh, I'm here to welcome you to our Unity Forum. This is a special edition because not only are we going to be acknowledging that this is the day before a long holiday weekend for Independence Day, but also we are going to be talking to four of NuPath's wonderful nurses. Um, just to give a little context, on Monday, I think it was of this past week, I was at Leahy Hospital, and I was waiting to see my mother. I had stepped out of the room because the nurses were doing something with her. And as I was standing there, it was near the nurses station, and I heard them. They were having some sort of a shift review, and one of the head nurse or whatever she was talking. She says, "Well, since we didn't celebrate Nurses Day or Nurses Week back in May, we're going to be doing it this week." And they were talking about some of the plans, and I was thinking, I remember thinking something about there being nurses. I don't know what was Nurses Week, and I don't remember what was going on at the beginning of May. Who can keep track of anything anymore? But I thought, you know what? That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do this next Thursday, and we're going to honor our nurses because without them, we could not have ever gotten to where we are on this side. And I say this side in the most optimistic way that we have got the worst behind us for COVID. Not that we can relax anything. We know that we can't. But nurses are such a vital part of our world, and forget, I mean, even before pandemic, well before pandemic, it was the strength of NuPath's nursing team, really led by Sharon Pitts, and we're going to be seeing her at the end of this broadcast, that really began to define and shape NuPath's reputation within the industry as an organization that was highly skilled and well versed, client focused and centered, and a resource to families that had their sons and daughters with severe and chronic medical needs that needed a place for day programs and residentially. And it's really because of Sharon's influence, the team that she's assembled around her, that we have found ourselves in a position where we're really, what I would consider to be premier when it comes to our medical skilled nursing. So without further ado, I look forward to my first guest today. I'm going to bring her on because we've got four today. We're going to try to be a little bit more succinct. The first guest is Stephanie Fitzgerald. She is a nurse that people will see around New Boston Street. There she is. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Dan. Thanks for having us on. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
you are so welcome. And you know what? When your name was submitted to me and I knew we were going to be talking to you, and I knew who you were, but I said to Greg, you're somebody that I just see in passing, flying through. You've been with us since January 7th of 2016, so well over 4 years, and yet you kind of fly below the radar. You're there, you're in everything, but you're never somebody that's like commanding, attention or any, one of these behind the scenes people. And Brett mentioned to me that you've watched virtually every single forum, town hall that we've had. And that means, I think that just said something about your commitment and your dedication and all of that. I want to talk to you about your experience with NuPath. But first, I'm going to have Greg pull up a picture. I think we've got some pictures of your beautiful family that we've assembled, because part of this is getting to know who our staff are. These are your three kids.
Yeah.
Nolan, Riley, and Shay. You wanted to tell us about them?
Yeah, so Nolan is a freshman. Well, he didn't get a chance to complete his freshman year, but he goes to Framingham State. And so that was cut short back in March. And he's my oldest, he's 19. And then Riley, he's in the middle, actually, Nolan with the blue. And then Riley has the Bruins shirt on. He's just turned 17, and he's going to be a junior at Wilmington High School. And then Shay, my daughter, is 15, and she's going to be a sophomore at Wilmington High School.
Wow, good-looking kids. So you're the whole thing with what's going on with homeschooling and distance learning, that has a direct impact on your daily life.
It did, and I feel like, you know what, Dan, like with him, Nolan being in college, and when he was sent home originally, to continue his Zoom classes with his professors, and having two high school students, I felt like, people are in more dire need than I am. I basically told my kids, like, I've taught you everything that you know. I taught you to be independent, so let's just have at it. Do the best you possibly can on the virtual meetings with your teachers, make sure you check in, and all that stuff. So I believe, I feel bad for the individuals that have younger ones at home and trying to, deal with that on the school level as well as, the preschool level, and, having to contain, little kids climbing the walls and stuff. So I feel like I had it a little bit more easier than most, just because they're teenagers, and they're self-sufficient. So that kind of helped take the burden
Sounds
off.
like you raised some good kids. They're all self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Riley is there any significance in wearing the Bruins? Did I hear your husband was is he a scout? Did I hear that right?
Yes, he's a scout for the Bruins. Yep, he actually travels the world and finds the players, like your Brad Marchands and your Zdeno Charas and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what he does for his job.
So I imagine you're in your home, the Bruins are kind of a thing,
Hmm. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, we come from a big hockey family. Yeah,
From a
so
big hockey family. That's
yeah.
awesome. So I'm gonna have Greg bring you back up so we can see you full screen, and I want to talk to you about some of the stuff that you've been doing. Now, your first 3.5 years with NuPath are probably a little different. Well, maybe slightly different from how it's been since. But I have a list here in front of me. Man, just quickly go through it of all the things that you do. Your home office is you set yourself up at home, but you do a 7-day a week check-in procedure with the medical model and maybe the medical homes. You're doing wellness check-ins morning and afternoon, and I didn't realize that it was twice a day with a number of people. You're in direct contact with the residential staff for any access issues or needs that they may have. You had the first positive test case at NuPath that you encounter, you found, or you were responsible for helping to manage. You helped do the med visits and the residential programs that needed. It just seems like a lot of stuff, and to do it virtually. Talk to us about your role at NuPath since this whole thing started, or how it's changed, or
Right. Well, I just remember being in the office at 147 on March 13th, and basically we were the whole entire week we were listening to the governor, and we would, logging on and just kind of, figuring out things. And I believe it was the following week, and basically it was, we were getting shut down, and basically Sharon gave us a computer, and she's like, I'll be in touch, and basically wanted us to follow residential homes and sent us an email of what residential homes we were going to follow. And then she sent an email to follow up with that. But I'm not sure if my individual was the first case, but he was definitely one of the two that ended up having to go to the COVID center at 147 that we turned into. And it was my first COVID case, which was needless to say, as soon as you got the results, or because we had no idea, his only symptoms were basically, loss of sense and taste and smell. And so I remember the house manager calling me, on my cell phone and saying, are you sitting down? I have bad news to tell you. And from there, that was his only symptom. So, of course, everybody went into panic mode. The text messages and the emails, and what do we do? And obviously, there was a second plan in place, and we knew the COVID center was was active, and that was our plan B. But to actually have that flight or fight response to, go into mode of where, the panic mode, it's just like, oh my God, is this going to be a mild case? Is this going to be a major case? How is he going to adapt? How is his roommates? How are the staff? And so essentially, I think that all came to play out, and we were all fearful originally. I mean, we're still fearful, but I think the original, like, what this virus was going to entail and what direction it was going to take was nerve-wracking for, I think, all of us. So that was hard.
it's amazing. It's amazing what you guys did. I I never once I worry a lot. I worry about a lot of things. That's why I got these like black circles under my eyes. But I never worried about the nursing department, and I think that's just because I've worked with Sharon Pitts for so long, so I've got so much respect and trust in her. But I've also been impressed with the quality of the team that she's built around her. And so even though I didn't know you well, I mean, from now on, I feel like we'll have this special bond because you've been a Unity Forum guest. Um, every time every time I've seen you or Jen, Jen Kunik, but Jen the nurse, everybody knows her at our home office. You guys are always, you just seem so directed, connected, and caring and compassionate. You see these like external symptoms or signs and signals of your care. What were you doing before, and how is this job different? Now that to the past 4 years, is
So
it real
I'll
change?
Yeah, my background is basically I worked at Beth Israel like transplant unit, and then I stayed home for like 10 years to raise my kids because I felt it was easier if my husband was traveling the world. We couldn't have two people working full time, and he would be home 5 days out of 1 month, and trying to do that. So I basically took 10 years off and just kind of did a little bit per diem and VNA and stuff like that. But I felt like I always, if I have a couple of friends who do have special needs children, I felt like I always gravitated more towards that. And I did have an interest with them of just, being a human service worker and what we do. Besides the nurses and the organization that we do work for NuPath, I just feel like it just takes a special person for all of us to help everybody out in need. So that's how I actually ended up at NuPath.
Hmm.
But I love what I do. I love helping people. I you work hard, you play hard, you kind of fall under the radar, and you do what you have to do. But I'm not one to I go unnoticed, basically.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Sharon does run a tight ship. She's trained us well. She's awesome and she's amazing. And I believe that most of us, all of us do, work and we're good workers because she has facilitated that for us
Yeah.
of make sure you're thorough and ask the questions and answer and stuff. So,
And she is never going to ask you to do something that she wouldn't do herself.
right.
You never see her, she'll throw herself into anything that's required. And I
Mhm.
know this. I've known her for so many years, and I've seen her in action for so long.
Yeah,
And you are, when Sharon hires somebody, it's a real, true and resounding endorsement of that person's character. So I feel like I know a lot about you just through the fact that Sharon, has endorsed you. Um,
yeah,
you sound like a pretty special person yourself, an amazing mom, an incredible, somebody who puts your career, on hold for your family and for your children. I always just have got so much respect for that. And as the wife of somebody in the job that your husband's in, that's probably was an incredible stress. I mean, I would think, raising three kids when your husband's only home 5 days a week.
right.
Um, and so now have you all been like sort of quarantined together? Is your husband sort of, has he been home or is that?
Yeah, we've been quarantined together. He does have a second job. He's a longshoreman during the week, in the mornings and in the weekends. He's been in the union down there for I, 20 years. So he does that as a second job. He's always worked two jobs.
That is such a
But
bizarre
we,
job to have as a second job. You
right.
hear somebody being a longshoreman for like, oh yeah, on the side
Yeah.
of a longshoreman. Huh.
Well, that was one of his first jobs before he went full time with the Bruins. He always did, per diem work for them, and he's been working for them for about 13 years. But when he's not home, essentially he travels, now he does basically college hockey. So he's home, but we've been all quarantined together. It's been difficult. It's been stressful with his career, not knowing if they're bringing the Bruins back and if they're going to
Yeah.
be, playing this summer and,
Ah,
how they're going to, finish out the Stanley Cup if that's going to be the
mhm.
situation. Um,
Dude.
so yeah, if that answers your
Wow.
question. Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's something that came to my mind. Somebody, thank you so much for the work you do with NuPath. We We applaud you. We love you. We acknowledge all that you bring to this organization. I'm sorry I didn't tell you Happy Nurses Week in
Oh, that's
May.
fine. Honestly, Dan, I appreciate you having us on. It's just wonderful. I do want to mention that I've been doing outreach calls, and there are a lot of parents that are basically saying NuPath is the Cadillac of all programs, and they're very, they just can't thank us enough, basically. Because I think, with their experience and other children and other different programs and different residential homes and stuff, that's basically what they've been reporting to me. So they do call us the Cadillac of programs for a handful of parents. So that's reassuring to say, and
I
it
love
speaks
that. You know,
volumes.
when you hear stuff like that, um, that I hope you just take that as a resounding, like, just affirmation and incredible praise for what you do. Because I always say, when people say, "Oh, this is a great program," or "a lousy program," or "an amazing agency," or "a crappy agency," usually they're not, they're thinking about, what their experience has been. You can have a great CEO and terrible programs. You can have great programs and terrible CEO, but I think that part of what makes the magic of NuPath is that so many of us just feel such a, strong affinity or desire to do the very best for families, and I see that played out in so many ways, in particular in the nursing staff and the nursing team. And so, thank you for sharing that with me, and thank you for making us the Cadillac of programs, Stephanie, because
Oh, well, it's everybody else behind the scenes, Dan. It speaks volumes. Everybody should be congratulating themselves, especially you.
it's our
You know,
unity. It's our unity, our collaboration, our our dedication to our core values that make us special. And a lot of people can say you're dedicated to core values, but let's see how that plays out in your actual actions. And I'm so glad we got this chance to talk. It wasn't so bad, was it?
no, not so bad.
See? See?
I think I'll stick with nursing and non-public speaking, though.
Well, you're terrific.
Yeah,
We may have you back. You never know.
I
So
know. Thanks, Dan. And I'm so glad your mom's out of the
you're
hospital and she's
fantastic.
doing
Thank you for being part of this and for being part of NuPath. We love you. Happy Nurses Week. Couple
you.
months.
Oh, thanks, Dan. Happy July 4th. Good to see you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, this is off to a great start, and I'm trying really hard to like move this along because I know that I talk a lot. So I try
Hey,
to.
Dan. Dan?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just our next guest is having a little Wi-Fi issue, so we're going to go to our last two next.
Okay. You have to be able to be fluid and flow. So, well, the next, I don't know if we're going to really do this together, or are we going to try to do Jen Kuniff and Sharon Pitts together or separately? Let's start with Jen Kuniff. Most people know this incredible and amazing person as Jen the nurse. That's how I've known her for years. Hi, Jen the nurse.
Hi, Dan. Thank you so much.
It's so beautiful, and I know you're kind of nervous, so just relax. I'm going to talk for a little bit, just talk about how great you are. First of all, the smile that you have on your face is what people know you, how people know you. This is not an unusual or strange pose for you. You're always smiling. You always have this positive, upbeat attitude. Um, you've worked with us now for 6 years.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
I
That's
know.
a long time. That's a long
It is,
time.
it is a long time.
And you're back in that office, kind of off our main lobby, kind of around the corner. And I don't see you all that often. Sometimes we're going up and down the stairs. I'll see you, but I know you're all over the place. You're crazy. You've had like all kinds of things on your plate, as far as doing the wellness checks and
Yeah.
being a resource to the residential programs and all of that. But first, I want to talk to you about when you had your first child, Stephen. I wonder if I could pull up. Well, you've got some beautiful kids, and there's something interesting here because your mother-in-law is a well-known woman at NuPath. Who is your mother-in-law?
Sharon.
You're it. So, if Greg wants to pull up, unless it's Greg, if you could do that. We invited you to be part of our 2000 and oh geez, what was it? 17.
It was
I just
17, 16, the end of 2016.
because your little guy, that's Stephen right there, Stephen Jr., right? That Sharon's holding.
Yeah.
And we had you be part of our annual celebration, and you did the elevator part of our elevator pitch. Do you remember what it was about?
I remember.
And you and neither you nor Sharon particularly loves being in the limelight.
No.
But I thought it'd be so cool if we had you and Sharon kind of be there together. So that's Grandma, or she goes by Mima. What is it?
Grammy. Grammy.
Grammy. Okay, I couldn't
Grammy.
remember what she decided on in the end. Grammy. Okay, and so and he was just a little guy at that point, wasn't he? And you were up there in front of 300 people or whatever it was, and you
Yes.
guys so terrific. We loved it. And then you had another one, another child, another little boy along the way. That's Daniel.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So what's it like having your boss also be your mother-in-law? Is that weird?
No, because I think we keep it all separated, so it all is fine. We know how to kind of the boundaries, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have Greg pull you back so we can all see your face a little bit better. And so you were you've been working primarily at New Boston Street, but talk to me about how your life has changed since COVID. What's it been like? Some of the stuff that you've been doing, and how are you, or what are some of the other things that you feel that you're doing to kind of be a resource to the organization, and doing your work remotely and not seeing people and all of that. What's it been like?
It's tough. I like being around people and working with people, and this has definitely been a big change. It's stressful most days, especially because of the two little guys and all the work that has to be done and the phone calls every day. And, the boys are so excited at nighttime, when I finish all my work that I put the laptop down, Mama, you're done with work, so it's been an adjustment for them. And I call the houses 2 times a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. And then, whatever else comes about, if there's anything else going on, we call the doctor's offices. And, sometimes I'm on the phone all day or, so it's been an adjustment. And I definitely like the contact with people and being around people. So it's been an adjustment period for sure.
You mentioned twice in the past, like 2 minutes, about how it's been challenging because you like to be around people.
Right.
And I just said, I think I talked a little bit about this on Tuesday, and I've been sharing it with some colleagues that I feel like I'm suffering because I'm not. You could do. I mean, this Zoom is nice. It's great to see your face, but it's not the same
Right.
as being around people.
And I'm a hugger, so this might sound
Right.
weird, but I see people like here and there, and I want to go to hug them, and then I remember I can't do that.
Hello?
Right now.
You hear that too?
Yeah, hey, Jen, do you mind muting yourself, please, on the phone?
Oh, the other Jen maybe. We can hear. So you're a hugger. So you want to. Your feeling is to hug. And why do we hug? We hug because we get this like sense of energy. It's the connection. There's all kinds of tests that show that people's emotional well-being is better. When you give hugs. And I don't know if we're ever gonna hug again. Are we?
I know. I don't know. I'm not sure, but hopefully down the road it'll all get better and we can hug again.
Do you remember when you got engaged?
Yes, and I came up to your office and I showed you, and I had just gotten my nails done.
Yes.
And it worked out perfectly because my nails looked good when I showed you, and also the ring.
And tell us how you got that ring that day, because I was one of the first people to see it. I think did I know before Sharon, or there was something like, I think you came right upstairs.
She knew, and then I went right upstairs. But he came to work to bring me a coffee, and then he pretended to fall out of the truck, and then yeah. So it was it, and I went right up to you, and I think Greg was there too at the time.
I just love that memory. That is so special to me. I remember just being so overjoyed with you. I love engagement stories. I'm just a
Yes,
crazy,
yeah. Yeah.
And so and you were shocked. You did not expect it, did you? You were like, or
No.
maybe you did. No, I don't think you did.
Not at all. And I actually said, get up, when he pretended to fall out of the truck. Because I was so not.
Now this day and age, just a few years later, people would have been there with video cameras, like getting
I
it put on
know.
Instagram and everything.
I know.
But you just, yeah. Well, you have been just this source of jubilant joy. You know, you're one of these people that, you know, the other thing about wearing masks, you wear masks, right? I
Yeah.
meant to ask that of Stephanie. I would like from the very
Yes.
best sources. And you can't see people's smiles when you're wearing a mask.
I wanted to say that because I go to the grocery store, which is really the only place I've been since this whole thing started. And I wear my mask and I smile at people, and it just feels so awkward that I'm smiling and they have no idea that I'm smiling. And it makes me
I'm the
sad,
same
you
way.
know? Yeah.
You feel like I feel like I used to get a lot better service before masks because when you smile at somebody and they know that you're, you know, in a space where you're just acknowledging them as a person, or you're approving
Right.
of what they're doing, or you appreciate some act of kindness, and that smile that can't be seen, it almost takes away a whole, a form of expression for you, because
Right.
if you do something nice for me and I'm like, you know, and I gave you a big smile, that's like me saying thank you, or I appreciate it, or I acknowledge that you did that for me, or, you know, that's great. But you can't always, you know, so I've been looking at my eyes and I've been like,
Yeah.
can I tell when if I'm smiling, will it come through, you know? But you're somebody I think that when you smile, it just ejects from every pore, like every part of your face. You know,
Thank
you're
you.
smiling, positive, your positive energy. You know, people, you are so beloved, you know, far and wide in this organization. Most people know you, Jen the nurse. That's, you know, no fault of theirs, but it's a sweet and
Yes.
it's appropriate moniker because you were just an incredible addition to our team, and I would thank you so much. Happy Nurses Week, couple
Thank
months,
you, Dan. Thank you
couple
for
months
having
late,
me.
and you were terrific. It wasn't so bad, was it?
No, it wasn't. I miss everybody, so hopefully this can all get back to normal soon.
Well, I miss you too, and we'll hope to see you soon. We're going to start to. I should have mentioned at the beginning. I got a couple of very late late notice from Dan Lannon that Mass Health did release their guidance, which is in a 28-page document about the the provisions necessary for our day habs to open. So this is a critical document that we are waiting for.
Oh,
So
good.
I'm sure a lot of families may have some questions about those. We're going to be going through those. It's going to take us some time to kind of tease through like all of the
Right.
specific details, although we don't expect them to be that different from what DDS has done. And also DDS released their guidance about visitation for families. And so families will be able to, we're going to be helping families take some of their kids home for the weekend. So,
Good. Good.
you know, I say, you know, we are further along the way towards normal than we
Right.
were yesterday or
Right.
3 months ago, you know, so we're moving in the right track. And if everybody can remember to wear their masks, to social distance, to wash their hands, to continue to be safe, even as Massachusetts is probably, you know, soon to be in the lead of the states that are doing it right. We cannot become complacent because so much of our reopening is predicated on our ability to suppress this virus. So
Right.
thank you
Thank
for
you,
everything
Dan.
you do, for keeping us safe and for keeping our people well, and for smiling and injecting all of us with a ray of light every time you step into a room. You're
Thank you,
awesome.
Dan. Thank you.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye. Okay, I'm gonna let my pilot here tell me what's next. Who are we gonna take next, Greg?
We're gonna go to Sharon Pitts.
Do we have Jen, or did we lose her? We'll have her last.
Yeah, we're still working on that. We lost her in she was trying to jump in, but call in, but we'll try to figure that out.
Hey guys, you're all hearing all this stuff. You know, I should have one of those like buds in my ears, so I'm hearing this, and everybody in the world doesn't know what's going on. The reason I asked that is because I wanted to know: do I have 20 solid minutes with Sharon Pitts?
You
Let's
can't,
bring
you
it
can't,
on. Look at this. Oh, do not tell me you're having problems with your camera.
it's not working and I have to, wait a minute. Hi, this is Sharon speaking.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is,
Hi.
and she's on the phone. She's on the phone right now. That, you know, this is like the example of examples of the
Okay.
the vice president of healthcare, of nursing, that is still so involved in the day-to-day, just minutia and the caring for people's lives that makes her so special. And I don't care if I've got this black screen, I could talk for the next hour about Sharon Pitts, and I would probably proceed to do just that. I'm trying to hear if she's on the other line. Are you there, Sharon? Or are you talking to somebody?
I muted her, Dan, because it sounded like she was on the other
It
line, so I'm not sure what's going on. Exactly.
This is just, this is never was there a more pure and, sort of unabridged illustration of somebody's sort of character, dedication to their job. She probably saw one of the houses calling, and she just, she probably just grabbed it out of habit, because that's the kind of person she is. Well, let's talk about Sharon then, as we're waiting to see whether or not she comes back from this call, or whether or not I'm going to have to embarrass her without her sitting, right there on the screen beside me. Does that sound like a plan, Greg? Sharon has been working here with NuPath since September 8th of 98. That's going to be 22 years in September. Oh my God,
Hello?
22. That was like, I was 30, something like that. 30. Yeah, I was 30 years old.
I'm sorry. We're gonna audible one last time, okay? Because we have Jen Zanetti on the phone. Jen, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hi,
great.
Dan.
Jen Zanetti, so we have to talk to you via phone?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi went down, so I just tried to reboot it. I'm able to see you now, but I'm using my hotspot on my phone.
That's okay, because guess what? We've got pictures of you. So I'm gonna have Greg pull up. I'm gonna have Greg pull up the slide. We got a couple of slides actually, but I'm gonna have him pull that up to share with you. You have been there.
Oh, jeez.
Now, Jen, I was gonna ask you, what picture do you think I would choose of you if I could choose one? And you probably would have guessed this one, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That's the one.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're gonna be embarrassed. What woman would not be embarrassed to have a picture of themselves up on a screen? But you look like a model there, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry. I remember this is from 2017. This is our Boston Harbor cruise. It was part of the Club 50 event from the walk that year, which was where we broke like amazing records. And I was going through the pictures, and I saw the picture of you, and I said, that needs to go in a frame. And if I'm not mistaken, I maybe did frame that for you. Is that right?
You did, and you wrote something very nice on the back.
I did. I don't remember what I wrote, but I'm sure I should read it. If I had it, I'd read it right now, and that would probably say so much about who you are. You've been with us now, if you can imagine this, for 15 years. May 5th of 2015. That is an incredible span of life. You are somebody who has been so important in the growth of NuPath as we've evolved, as our programs have moved from location to location, as we've evolved and become an organization that serves a population of people that are so medically fragile and chronically ill. And I know that you are just so important to Sharon and to the crew. Greg, you want to pull that other slide up? Because I thought we just quickly mentioned the other, your daughter Kaylee is going absent in the fall. There she is.
There she is. Yep.
These are great.
Thank you. Yep, that's my parents and my sister and my daughter, and that was a little graduation party that I had for her. I wanted to have a big one. However, with the COVID virus, I couldn't, and I was nervous having my parents there because they're up there in age. But of course, they wouldn't miss it for the world.
Right, and this
we had a nice time.
High school graduation, because she's just going to college in the fall, right?
Correct. Yep.
What are those medals
She'll be going
around?
To she was the president of National Honor Society, and she was president of Future Business Leaders of America. So she got to wear those awards around her neck.
And is there a third one? Or am I not seeing that right? It looks like
Um, th- there could, there is a third medal. You know what?
you know what?
Honestly, right now, I'm all nerved up because of the Wi-Fi, and I was trying to
Of
reconnect. I
course.
can't remember what the other one is.
Just relax. That's totally fine. You know what that is? That's called an embarrassment of riches. That's like when when her daughter's got more medals around her neck than she can keep track of. That says something that your daughter's pretty special, and I'm not surprised because you're pretty incredible. And then let's not leave off the other picture. You want to tell us about Ollie?
Ollie, yep, that's my buddy, my dog. He's a 3.5-year-old boxer. We walk a few times a day, and he's really enjoyed me being home. However, I'm looking forward to going back and working with people because I'm going a little crazy, working from home.
Yeah, I bet you are. I bet you are. Your schedule now also includes working with the residential programs. You're doing wellness calls as well too. Do you want to talk to us about? You just said it, but it's not the same as being face to face with people. So you're clearly same in the same camp. But what is your role, or how do you also do calls like morning and afternoon sort of thing?
I do. Yep. I'm assigned to a couple of the houses, and I call in a couple times a day, just to check in on everybody. I think, by the nurses all doing that, that's made a big difference in the amount of cases that we have seen.
Mm-hmm.
I also, if somebody needs to be checked, I'd go in and, check on them. I did go to one of the houses once to clip toenails, which was extremely nerve-wracking because it's not something we typically do. And one of the other nurses, Melissa, and I are going to be doing some trainings. We did one last Sunday. We'll be doing another one tonight.
Yes, I heard about that. The training is related to the help me out
It's
here. What was
it's to the glucometer and also the signs and symptoms of hyper and hypoglycemia for one of our individuals that may be starting on insulin.
hmm You, as somebody who's been here 15 years, you've got to be about the most veteran of our nurses beyond. I mean, I know Luann's been with us for quite a while. But you're up there, right? I mean, as far as the number of years that you put in.
In NuPath, or is it
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
nurse?
on the
Yeah,
nursing team.
yeah. I
Yeah,
I started out per diem or relief, just a day or two in the summer to relieve Sharon when she needed a day off, and then I came
yeah,
on part time and eventually full time.
yeah.
Yeah, so I have a lot of years in.
You know what I think? I think that excellence is something that you you cultivate and you accrue the type of excellence that NuPath has. And the way that happens is because you get somebody great like Sharon Pitts to run the department. And then as she assembles other great people, as new people come on board, they look to models of behavior. They look to see what their peers are doing or what their coworkers are doing. And when you're part of a team that has exceptional dedicated people like you, as new people come on board, that is what they learn. They aspire to the models that they are presented. And so it's that idea that excellence attracts excellence, because you people that want to be part of a great team are not going to stay someplace where there's crap, and you're part of that front line of the people that other nurses, other staff, other people look to you. I'm inspired by you. You are
Oh,
an
thank
incredible
you.
example and model organization, and we're so lucky to have you. Appreciate your amazing work over these years, and really.
Thank you. Well, like you said, I had a great role model and mentor who was Sharon. I couldn't ask for a better person to lead the nurses. She's a wonderful person and a great nurse.
She's probably gonna just right now like wants to kill me because everybody knows Sharon knows she hates this stuff.
I
She
know.
hates it, and now she knows she's next. She's gonna have to face me face to face. Can you imagine? Well, Jen, I can't see your face, but you were a little nervous, as most people would be, but it wasn't so bad. You were fantastic. Thank you so much for participating. thank you from everybody at NuPath for how you change lives every day and you make us all healthy and better versions of ourselves. And we
Thank you
ask
so much, Dan.
you stay healthy and safe. And good luck to your daughter. She goes into college this fall, whatever that may be. You've obviously raised a three-medal girl that you can't remember.
Thank you so much, and I'm glad to hear your mom's doing better.
Hey, you're terrific. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon, okay? Be well.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, I've got just enough time to, well, there's not enough time in the world to bestow accolades upon Miss Sharon Pitts. And at this point, I would not be the least bit surprised if I heard from Greg that her camera like broke down, or maybe we never even got her back. But that would not stop me, because even if that happened, I would still go full force in laying praise to Sharon Pitts. Greg, do we have her, or is she like scurried off to some emergency?
Sharon, you would
No,
have
I'm
thought.
here. Can you hear
Sharon
me?
Pitts, are you telling us your mic is not working?
My mic's working, my camera's not, right?
Your camera not working?
Yeah, it's the,
All right.
it's
Well, then
the
I'm gonna have to.
computer. That's
I'm gonna
okay.
have
I'm fine
Greg
with that.
to pull up some picture of you so we could look at your beautiful face. At the risk of sounding, let's see, maybe I should even say this, I don't know, but when I was, not only do we have the most talented and dedicated nursing pool probably in the state, if not the country, but I was looking at all your nurses like lined up, and they are beautiful. Besides, they're like the whole picture. Before we started today, everybody was up on screen, and I was like, we're pretty, amazing, Sharon. So I guess I'm not going to be able to see you. So maybe Greg could pull up
Okay.
a slide so that if anyone for some reason doesn't know you, there she is. You are yeah, you are, I don't even know where to start. I've already said a lot of good things about you. I don't know if you've been listening, but you are the jewel, the prize jewel of this organization. You are somebody that I remember meeting when I first was hired. And to tell you the truth, I probably have shared this with you over the many long years we've worked together since. I think you were a little skeptical of me at first. You were a little bit, anybody knows that if you want to get into with Sharon Pitts, if you want to impress Sharon Pitts, do your job, do it well, and treat the clients respectfully. And so as things evolved, it soon became apparent that you and I shared similar values, and we've been through so many so many crises in our time together. Just yesterday I saw you at the main office, and you came in late in the day. You were there to, oh, what were you there to grab? You were there to grab, oh, you had Depends for somebody, and you had something else, and
Yep.
I've seen you there weekends waiting to get deliveries of masks or PPE equipment, and it just, you were, whatever you need to do, you're there. And you are also, you've been a friend and a resource to my family. A year ago, March, when my mother moved out here, you're such a source of encouragement. You went over to kind of, do an evaluation of my mother. You were helping me, you sort of navigate everything that I had to do when my mother moved out here, as far as getting new doctors for everything, and helping me choose, the right plan for her insurance, and and even you helped me get equipment that I needed to get up to her off, or to her apartment. And even when I was sick, not that many weeks ago, and I thought maybe I might have COVID, and you brought me Gatorade and to my apartment. And I know this is this is something that you do for so many people. You are somebody that also is a servant leader. You don't like the limelight, so I'm still not convinced that this whole camera thing was an honest occurrence.
No, it is.
No, I know it is. You are somebody that's just a vital and truly critical part of the fabric of this organization. And in talking to your staff, I hope you were able to listen to everything
I did.
because you are. Go ahead, talk. I've talked too much.
I love it. We have the best nurses. I say that hands down. I don't believe you'd find any better nurses in any hospital, anywhere, any clinic, any other day program, anywhere. We are truly blessed with our nurses.
But you've hired those nurses, Sharon. You've cultivated the team that has brought to this organization the kind of accolades and the trust that families feel in us. Most families, I'd be surprised if there's probably hardly a family that doesn't know who you are. That means that you are more than just a title on an org chart. You are somebody that is in the milieu. You're somebody that is available and a resource to families and people. You know, I've had an experience over these past couple of years, or past 4 years really, since I had my hip stuff, of experiencing what it feels like for our families when they feel that people don't care, or they feel like nobody will listen to them, or this sense of powerlessness that comes over. You have gotten it from the very beginning. You have just railed against any situation where a family should, be lacking for information, a callback, some trusted, source of information that it just means the world to people. And you've done that and built a team around you that has kind of manifested those values. I don't know. What would you like to say about your journey? You're not a big talker, so I'm gonna have to pull it out of you. What would you say about your journey in this past 22 years that you've worked for NuPath?
Oh, I've seen so many awesome changes. I think we talked about this at when we celebrated myself, Matt Johnson, Dan Lannon, and Ted. We all kind of came at the same time. Ted a little longer, but and just changed the culture, I think. And it's been a wonderful journey for me. I've loved every minute of my job. It's been very stressful. I won't say it's never been stressful, but I do love what I do.
I'll point out 1 or 2 minutes you might not have loved exactly.
Oh, I know that. It's not without that stress, but
when you stepped in my office looking for a bag, we probably in the course of our 10 minutes together, we mentioned maybe 5 different past crises that we were sort of, laughing about or remarking about, or just mentioning that, oh, remember that, or when that happened, or I mean, there's just something about, the longevity that you bring, the passion, the quiet kind of just and supreme dedication to quality services. That is just like the underpinnings of what makes, well, what we just heard is the Cadillac of programs. And I shared this story that for some time now, I've been really wanting to, I wanted to bring you on to the executive team. I felt that we were at a point, this is going back last year, well pre-pandemic. And I remember bringing you up to my office in December, and it was the day of our staff employee holiday party. Do you remember that?
Yep.
And you're somebody that when somebody asks you to come to your office, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, oh, you're probably like, or wondering, what parent, maybe had complained, or just general discomfort of being like summoned to my office, although that's not how I wanted it to seem. And I just wanted to have that kind of personal, thoughtful conversation with you to tell you that we were going to be, I wanted to elevate you onto and make you vice president of healthcare and nursing, and long overdue. And and I said to you at the time, I just felt that there was so much that was before us that was related to health and healthcare, and at the time we were talking mostly about managed care. And, of course, I thought about the threat of pandemic, but it just was not something that was primary in my mind. We announced it at our, I think, I don't know, can't remember now even, maybe, one of our business meetings, and made a public announcement about your elevation. And then like a month later, we fell into this pandemic. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, my timing is either golden or it sucks for you, or I don't know what, but you know what? I'm glad, I'm going to say this. I'm glad that all of that happened before the pandemic, because you'll never have to worry that maybe this just happened because of it. I mean, you were brought onto this team because of your hard work and your excellence and your untold contributions to the shape, the face, the reputation of this organization. When people are talking about the quality of this organization, you deserve, just an abundance of credit and accolade for that, because you have defined who we are in so many ways, and the values that we espouse, the kind of satisfaction that families feel when they have it, whether that be through you personally or whether through the models, the model that you've been, how you have shaped not just your team, Sharon, but so many of the staff that you've worked with, that you've demanded a level of high output, of client-centered value, being respectful of how we talk to people and treat them, and how we create environments that are conducive to health and wellness. I mean, these are things that you deserve, just the untold credit. And as we're celebrating Nurses Week, a little late, as you heard me say, your team is your team because you've made them who you are, and we love you. You are a national treasure. You are somebody that we could not do without. And yeah, I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything that you've done for this organization.
Thanks. I just wanted to add one thing that, we talk about it in NuPath, it's a NuPath family. And to me, and I say that in my orientation class all the time, to me, the people that we provide services for are my family, and that's how I treat them. And that's how I, if you say model for other staff. And I really do feel that I would say most people that work for NuPath feel the same way. And hopefully that will continue, and we'll continue to be the best, as we are, in my opinion. Take everything personal when it's anything against NuPath is I take as a personal insult or whatever if anything's not done right or whatever. So anyways, thanks for having me.
Having you, yeah. Well, we are so damn proud of you, and Greg, I hope that there are a million hearts. I hope this organization has never given as many hearts and loves to anyone than they have to this woman that's on the screen before us right now, because she is an exceptional and amazing fire for this organization. Sharon, thank you for your team.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Stay well and healthy. Love those grandbabies, and I will see you soon. I'm sure, on a weekend, or Darren, you waiting on the dock for some delivery of PPE or something. We'll sure I'll see you again. It's time to wrap up, guys. This has been, I think I hope I thank people enough. Our nursing team is incredible. For those nurses who were not on today, you deserve great kudos as well, and this appreciation and this love that I hope is gushing from the organization today and right now. I hope it is felt by all of you, because you're a support that we could never do without. The families that you work with, or even if they don't know it, are so lucky to have you. And I've been hearing from some staff, or actually, well, staff and families. I've gotten some just lovely emails from a few people, just acknowledging their appreciation for our communication and a lot of what we're trying to do here. I am, I'm just this imperfect, guy doing the best I can to try to run an organization, but the beauty and the true success and impact of this organization is in the amazing team and the incredible staff that we have out there every single day. And today we witnessed just a small part of that. But this is what I've enjoyed so much about these Unity Forums. It's a chance for us to get to know some of our people a little bit more. And I'm just I'm so humbled, and I'm so touched to have the conversations that I've had. And I just want to wish all of our amazing staff out there just good health, and remember, please stay safe. I'm never going to stop saying it, and you're going to have to hear me till the very end of this, because we cannot lose sight of the importance of staying healthy and well for all the people that depend upon us, and to our families. If you're taking your kids home this weekend, We hope you have a wonderful time and a wonderful reunion. It's been too long since you've had them home. Please, please keep yourself safe and keep your kids safe, and so that we can all stay safe as we celebrate this special time in American history of our independence, um, and celebrate, the importance of the country that we become. And we'll get through this. We got this, guys. We absolutely do. With a team like that behind us, how could we not? And to all the rest of you, thank you so much. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.